Good to see you again, my man. Yeah, real good. Thank you. You look fantastic, dude. Keep it up.
I can't wait.
It might be in the best shape.
No, seriously,
Personally, in 10 years.
I love to see. As soon as I started announcing, I was like, that's got to be fun.
Yeah, love's mutual. That's for sure. Good luck in your fight. If you need anything, let me know. All right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect between trainers right there.
It should be, it should be. Some coaches, reach a level and they think their shit don't stink, right? And that they're the best and they don't need anybody and fuck everybody. But you know what? If the coaches don't help each other and respect each other and mutually love each other that way, that roller coaster ride for that particular individual is going to go down. It can't stay up the whole time. So when it goes down, you just shit all the water on the bottom. What are you going to do, right? You're isolated in an island now. It shouldn't be that way. We should try and be bettering the sport with one another, right? Because at the end of the day, we do get the shitty end of the stick always, right? If the fighter wins, phenomenal fighter. If the fighter loses, the shittiest coach. So you don't, why beat each other down that way? I'm a firm believer in that. For 30 years, that's what I've tried to do always, is help however I can. So, thanks for noticing that.
Yeah, and the fact that, it's not your hard work, it's unnoticed because you're one of the best boxing trainers in the game. I mean, pretty much seems like every other month I see you in a fight week or at a fight with a tremendous fight.
Thank you.
And in this coming fight, you got none other than one of the best heavyweights in the generation, Ruiz Ortiz.
Thank you. Yeah, we work hard. We work hard in the gym. I've worked hard at my craft for many, many years, 30 years now as a professional coach. And, you're always learning. And just recently I had the pleasure of joining with another individual named Yuka Tovola, who has taught me a great deal also and is a wonderful individual, and you learn a lot. So if you're a closed-minded type of individual, your career in this business as a coach is going to be short because you can't progress that way. So, yeah, thank you for noticing, absolutely.
Yeah, and the fact that Ortiz is taking another tough fight, the ones that do want to face him create obviously great fights because of the fact that Ucho's Ortiz is able to get back in the ring. Andy Ruiz, what's your thoughts on this upcoming fight with him?
Yeah, it was shaky at first, right? There was reports that he was going to fight that MMA guy,
the Triller, Sponge.
And maybe that was true, maybe it wasn't. I don't know if it did, or if it was a rumor, or if it was true. But he was a little shaky at first. But yeah, he ironed out and took the challenge, and not too many people do. I know there's 100 fighters that want to fight him. I do know that, and there's no reward on our end of it for fighting those guys, regardless of what everyone says that he hasn't fought anyone or he hasn't done anything or blah blah blah. It is what it is. That we fight who they put in front of us. We never say no. So, there's just a constant yes with Al and the PBC crew. They don't got to ask us if we'll fight this guy. It's a yes. They know that. Now it's just getting the other guys to agree. So yeah, a million thanks to finally having it materialize. It is a tough fight. Just as I thought Charles Martin was going to be a tough fight. Lewis made it a little harder for himself than he should have. Early on, but then he straightened it out. But this fight is going to be as tough, or maybe tougher. So we're prepared. Lewis doesn't not ever get prepared. He doesn't not ever, warrant what's in front of him. He understands what's in front of him, that it could be career ending, right? He is 43, right? And he realizes that. He's not living in La La Land. Yeah.
That's like Bernard
Hopkins. But you see the work in the ring, you see what he's going to do, and that's what he's going to do. There's no in between. That's what he's going to do. When you can count on Lewis fight that he's coming for your ass, and he's going to try and knock you out, or you got to knock him out. And the only one that has been able to do that has been Wilder. So, he's knocked everybody out.
Yeah. Well, everyone hits the canvas, and so, but it's heavyweight. I mean, you can sit over practically Ortiz. So
in my bag, hanging next to the speedball. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just going back, so by any chance of getting past Ruiz, it seems like the WBC belt is going to be vacant. There might be a Wilder 3, a Joe Joyce, or even maybe the direction of Usyk Joshua 2. Is that any of those guys that you're coming
I'm a realist, and I try to be a realist to his team and to his managers. No one is going to voluntarily fight Lewis. Any of those people you just mentioned. The WBC belt is going to go through many hands before it's given an opportunity again for Lewis to fight for that. So this could be years of what we're talking about right now. So I want for Lewis is the best possible fight with the highest payday available. And it doesn't matter who it is, right? Obviously, it needs to make sense. We're not going to fight a young lion for, $100,000. That doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, the belt seems that they have it set up already for the people they want to be world champions. I'm not saying that they don't want Lewis to be a world champion, because they have given him 2 opportunities, meaning Wilder, to become a world champion, and we came up short. But the way that the layout is now, it seems like Lewis would be a little bit far away, especially in the WBC. I know he's ranked number 2 in the IBF, so maybe the IBF is the way to go if they force anybody to fight their mandatories and they vacate. It's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, maybe beating Ruiz opens some doors for top names to say, hey, the risk now is worth the reward, and we'll fight you. And then, so maybe that's the ticket there, you know?
You know, and it's glad to see that you guys had great opportunities, because I know the story of Ortiz.
Yeah.
You know, Wilder was speaking earlier about how they shared a bond based on family, and there's a lot of respect. The trainers, you and Malik, a lot of respect. So obviously there's a lot of respect in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think just as a fighter, I've been doing this a long time, and I know that there's zero animosity for one another. And even when you fight each other, we fought Malik. Obviously, we fought Wilder, and Malik's his coach now. So it's just respect in that sense, that I understand what these fighters have to do to compete with one another. So you can't do nothing but respect that, you know, as a coach and somebody who trains a high-level fighter and high-level fighters. So, you know, they definitely have a bond because of their families. Every conversation they have, that's what they talk about, you know, and things like that. It's not about fighting, it's not about boxing, it's about family and how they're doing generally, you know, etc. So, you know, we're there to help them however we can, you know, until we got to fight them.
And then just wanted to get your thoughts. It doesn't seem like a fight that's going to happen, because you were mentioning time and situation. But what's your thoughts on a young American kid coming up out of Toledo, Ohio, Jared Anderson? A lot of people are talking about it.
I like him. I like him a lot. He's explosive. He's got good boxing ability, fast hands. I like him. He's the future, that's for sure. I mean, it's just a matter of time and when he comes out. But yeah, I definitely like him a lot, and I look forward to seeing him fight, you know, better opposition and doing his thing. Absolutely.
And then before I let you go, like I said, you have a stable of an amazing group of fighters. Just outside of the Ortiz fight, what other fights and fighters that you're going to be? Well,
we got Carlos Negron, who's going to be fighting Frank Sanchez on the Wilder undercard. Michelle Rivera Ali is hopefully fighting in that month, not necessarily on that card. So those are the 3 immediate ones that are happening right now in the next 90 days. So yeah, it's exciting, definitely.
And then I just talked to Michelle, and he was just saying that Lewis is like his big bro. You know, and he teaches him a lot of stuff like that. Is Michelle the next? Like, Michelle is the next 135, 140, maybe even 147 pound champion. He can go to any of those weight classes and dominate. His dedication is, you know, only matched or topped by Ortiz and some of the other guys we have in the gym. It's a very contagious you know, work ethic in our gym. So that is never to be questioned. But as far as his skill and his talent, he's a student of the game. He wants to be the best. He's having a little bit of the trouble that Luis had early, which is he's too good right now with the reward and risk ratio. So some of the better guys definitely don't want to fight him. I know for a fact Broner didn't want to fight him. I know for a fact that there was Broner and him with official.
There was a discussion one time when Broner was looking for an opponent, and it just didn't happen. Some of Broner's people called me and said that fight is not going to happen, so just move on.
But how did it even start? Like, did someone just
Well, they just needed an opponent, and you know, they thought of Michelle. You know, PBC was doing their job and thought of Michelle. But it's not the first guy, according to PBC, that does not want to fight Michelle. And I don't blame them, but there's got to be a better way for scenarios like that promoters have to have a contingency plan of when you have a fighter that nobody wants to fight. It really just comes down to money. So I think at the end of the day, you know, it's about making the fighter that people are avoiding a little more high profile, maybe pushing them in a little more of a light and getting them so that, you know, it becomes, you know, beneficiary for the guys, right? So we'll see what happens. I have a lot of faith in that company. They've done great stuff with Lewis and some of the other guys.
Tank fight potentially, because of
he doesn't want to fight. But Tank is at another level right now. Why would he risk such a risky fight with Michelle? Regardless of what people will say, that Tank will do to him, he still has to do it. So it's not that easy when you have a willing participant who's going to fight back, and that's Michel. You know, he can box, he can punch, he can move, he can fight inside. You know, I mean, it's a lot of good stuff that's going on in there. And yeah, he's taken a lot of the cues from Lewis and some of the older champs that we've had in the gym. So he's grown up in a great environment where everyone in the gym is former champion, contender, undefeated prospect, etc. There's which way do you look to see if you can, you know, there's no way to look that you can say, okay, I'll take a break. These are all guys that want one thing, and that's the top. What's at the top?
And right before I let you go, just another name, just, you know, Frank Martin with the Errol Spence backing.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like he's somewhat in a similar situation.
Yeah.
You know, he's calling out. Would that maybe Frank Martin, Michel?
You know, there's rumors of maybe Colbert fighting him, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so let's see what happens there.
Maybe the winner of that.
Potentially, yes, yeah, absolutely. Colbert is, you know, like my cousin, my adopted son.
Yeah.
I love him to death, and he knows it. If we had to fight Colbert, then you know, then we got to fight Colbert.
You know,
it wouldn't be the first time. I fought him already with someone else, and he beat me, right? So, but you know, I think the Martin fight would be a good fight for Michel if that fight were to get materialized and get done. It was offered, I believe. I don't necessarily know if it actually got any further than just being offered, right? So we'll see.
Awesome. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, my
Looking
man.
forward to fighting. Thanks for a lot of the time and the knowledge.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.